Alright, so our next question, well there are two, kind of combined into one, is from Alan2045. And he says, I planted tulips back in September. They are starting to come up out of the ground, already. Is that normal?
That's pretty normal. Most plants are on a schedule from year to year if they're perennials. And so they have a bulb. And when that bulb realizes that it's kind of moistish, getting warm, it's going to pop out of the ground. So that's completely normal.
Alright. And he says, I live in zone 5. I'm concerned that if we get another frost, they will die. Is there a way to cover them? I also planted some in containers, and those are also sprouting.
Now, that's a pretty good question. A lot of people will worry about that. What you have right now are called spikes. Spikes are not even producing from photosynthesis. They're only growing off of the nutrients that they have from the bulb that they've stored over from last year. So you don't necessarily have to worry about frost that much because they're just poking out of the ground that much. And like I said, they're called spikes. If you are worried a lot, you can take straw and heavily mulch around the plant's base. That will prevent any frost from touching the leaves. Or you can take a burlap bag. Both is the best combination because, you know, two is better than one, obviously. But next question.
Alright, so our next question is from DBigman812Many. And he says, Hi Brianna and Luke. In doing some research on and for a container garden, which I plan on doing this spring, I have come across a lot of information about earth boxes. I know you two are in-ground gardeners, but was wondering if you've ever tried and or know someone who used one and how they worked out. The principle seemed solid, but was just wondering if it was a gimmick or not.
Personally, I have tried growing in containers, and you always seem to have a problem with nutrients. When you put a tomato or a pepper in there, you soak up the nutrients really fast. Now, with earth boxes, it's a lot different because depending on the brand you get, obviously, they offer nutrients that will last through the entire year. And that's really good to have because if you're tight on space, it's definitely a growing method that I would use if I was living in an apartment or just some spot where you didn't necessarily have the ability to grow. So I myself would use it. It's definitely not a gimmick. Now, whether or not I would just grow in pure compost or not, I'd probably choose that because they can be pretty expensive. I saw some going for about $120 just for like a 10-foot earth box. I could get dirt for cheaper than that. But depending on what you want to do, level of gardening you want to do, your choice. Next question.
And he also asked, do you use that Durabit? He's referencing our deer/rabbit compost tea mixture we have, our miracle mix is what we call it. But I like that Durabit. I don't know. I can't. Anyways, I like that. It's pretty imaginative. Thank you. Anyways, are you using that compost tea when watering your seedlings or plants?
Personally, I really do. I use it from the moment they sprout to even now because they're not hot. And that's what I've been trying to push for the longest time, and that's what I've been encouraging all you viewers to use, is because if you use chicken manure or you use cow manure, it's hot. It has pneumonia, which will burn the plants. And it's not the nitrogen. What you think is nitrogen in your fake fertilizers in your Miracle-Gro is actually an acid that makes a chemical reaction with water that takes the oxygen out of the water and converts it to nitrogen. And nitrogen is actually not hurting your plant. It's the acid that you're overdoing, and it burns the roots. Same thing as ammonia. Ammonia is an acid and does the very same thing. So I use it from the moment they grow to the moment I put them in the ground, and even when I put them in the ground, I still use it because there can never be too much added. Of course, unless you overwater, but it's not the tea that's hurting, it's the water. So next question.
Well, and actually you will see coming up soon, we have one more question, and then we're going to show you the garden. Well, Luke's going to show you the garden. And our pepper plants are bigger than my hand. Okay, I have little hands. Yeah.
I have
Luke
big hands.
has big hands, and they're about this big. And my hands are small.
The leaves.
Tiny little 5-year-old hands, but it's good. The leaves are literally almost as big as his hands. Okay, so we're going to move on. And I apologize, I'm sorry, when I put all this together, I forgot to get the YouTube username of this subscriber on here. But his name is Mike, and I'm going to, like I've done with everybody else, we're going to post his YouTube channel link up here. Where I'm
if we can find it, hopefully.
Well, it should be on the comments section under the previous video, but anyway, his question is, why are my snow peas going yellow from the bottom up? All of the plants I've tried to grow have done that. They produce okay by the bottom, then they go yellowish, brownish quickly. Mike.
So there's a lot of things that be causing this. One could be overwatering. Simply, if you want to waste a plant, pull it up and you'll notice that the root system it'll be kind of smaller than it should be. It's not going to look healthy. It's going to be stubby and short, and that's from overwatering. If you pull it out and there's a giant cluster of roots in the bottom, that's from root bound. Root bound can also cause yellow leaves because they're not getting the proper oxygen and nutrients to the plant, and it's feeling claustrophobic in that little container. Now, if they're really big, that's completely normal. You don't have to worry. Like pepper plants, their lower leaves will be shaded out by their upper leaves, and it'll just cause them to die and drop off. Now, if the entire stem is browning and dying, that's not a good thing. I would probably venture to say that it's either overwatering or root bound. But without a video to see, that's my best guess. Now, if you'd like to post a video response, I can check it out, see more about what you're talking about, and I could help you fix that problem more. But that's the answer I have for now. Sorry if it doesn't fix it, but it's all I have to work from.
Yeah, so that ends our question and answer time. You can post more questions. We're going to do this again. We are going to resume with the weekly quick tips. Next week we'll have a new one, but we'll do the viewer questions again. We like this. We thought it was a pretty good idea. We got a lot of responses. So now Luke's going to show you the garden, and it has been growing in here, and it's only been a week. So you can go ahead and see that.
Okay, so here we are. Oh my goodness. Look how large these things are. Like I said, okay, maybe not. That was kind of an over-exaggeration with my hand, but they're about as big as Bree's. So they're huge either way. And actually, yeah, here's Bree's hand.
Yeah, well, they're almost there. I mean, I have tiny hands.
Well, and plus it's zoomed up on your hand more. Anyways, moving on. See that right there? That little kind of ballish thing on the stem? That's actually a flower that's going to be forming. I'm going to be growing 4 of these plants with flowers, and then the rest I'm going to clip off so we have stronger plants. I just want to see what we can get. There's the lettuce. Holy cow. Now this is the effects of compost tea. Now, there. That is actually as big as my hand, which is impressive. Here is all the tomatoes. Got the Roma coming up, the cherry coming up, the beefsteak doing very well, and the Julia Child all coming up really well. Transplanted a pepper plant, got that. Here's our celery sprawling out. And underneath here, I forgot to show you, is the Black Beauty eggplant. Coming down here is what all you guys have been wanting to see. I got my McDonald's Delight. They are sprouting. Yes, they are sprouting. And there aren't just 2. There's a couple more little stubs starting to grow down there. And here are my mystery tomatoes. My Franken tomatoes, as Praxis 55712 calls them. He's growing them as well. If you want to check out his channel, I'll post a link. He's growing the same things. I think mine are a little further along, but they're both growing pretty well. Here's the lettuce. I've been grazing every once in a while when I come in here. It's getting pretty big. And the onions. Wow. They're out of frame there. Oh, they're so huge. I can't even get them in the frame. Okay, so they're going to need a transplant pretty soon because they are getting pretty huge. Moving on to the closet. Get up here, and we're gonna see all the tomatoes. Everything is coming up. I'm not gonna name them off because you guys can check out other videos for the names. In here I have Praxis's personalized little mini lettuce heads. I don't know, they're coming up right there. I don't exactly know what kind they are, but all I know is they're little personalized lettuces. Then here we have the herbs. Everything's just coming up like crazy around here. Oh man, I don't know if we're gonna have to thin these or not. And then there's some more pepper transplants. We were running out of room, so I had to set them up there. Oh, and then back here is the brandywines. Sorry if I just went dark on you. And then coming around here, we have all the rest of them. These are just, man, they are really liking the light down here. Back here is the long-standing spinach. Still hasn't sprouted, but I checked some of the seeds and they're fine. They're just starting little tap roots right now. And here's the peppers. Here's some transplanted eggplant, some transplanted cauliflower, more peppers. Here's the some onions that a viewer sent us, and the broccoli and cauliflower that we first started is absolutely flourishing right there. There's the beans that are still flourishing, and down here we have all the little starts that are going to be going into pots fairly soon. And I believe that's it. Oh, also, one last thing. Still no peppers other than this one habanero that we got from a viewer. And I hope they're still going to come up. We're not touching them yet because, like a lot of you guys said, that they take sometimes almost a month to sprout, and it's only been a couple weeks. So this has been end of week 6 garden update. Hopefully you guys will stay tuned for the next one. Until next time, remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye.